Hi, this is Kierin, your DeFi guide. In today's video, we'll be covering the vast array of different Ethereum 2.0 staking solutions. So if you're overwhelmed, you don't really know what platform to use to stake your Ether, then this video is definitely for you. I'll go over the pros and cons of the different solutions, looking at centralized, non-centralized, custodial, non-custodial staking solutions, and hopefully give you a bit better insight on what solution fits your needs perfectly. I'd like to thank Aave for sponsoring this video. If you'd like a better way to earn some interest on your stablecoins or your cryptocurrency, then I highly recommend that you check Aave out. Are you tired of not earning any interest on your money in your bank? Let me introduce you to Aave. Aave is like your bank in the DeFi space, where you can earn high interest rates by lending your crypto in a permissionless savings account. You can also use the deposited funds as collateral to buy some more ETH and increase your exposure. With an Ethereum wallet and a few clicks, you can start earning high interest rates on many different cryptocurrencies such as DAI, USDC, TUSD, and many more. No registration or KYC needed. Furthermore, Aave just released version 2 of their protocol, which is audited by 4 different companies. Try out Aave platform by clicking on the link in the description and start making your money work for you. With the launch of the Ethereum 2.0 blockchain, staking now becomes possible since Ethereum 2.0 is a proof of stake blockchain. And the proof of stake blockchain needs validators. So normally validators need 32 ETH in order to propose and vote for new blocks. They install a piece of software on their computer, and that proposes or votes on all of the blocks making up the blockchain. Now, not everyone has 32 ETH, but a lot of people still want to earn these rewards from locking up this ETH. That's why there's a vast array of different possibilities. There's centralized, there's non-centralized, there's custodial, meaning you don't have the control over your keys, and non-custodial, meaning you've got control over the coins. And based on all of these different criteria, you're going to have to make your own judgment on how you're going to weight the criteria. Maybe you're more interested in having low fees or high liquidity, to have a minimum staking amount of maybe just 0.1 ETH, to having low risk or higher risk. So I think you're going to have to pass this judgment and make a decision on which staking platform to choose based off of that. So let's start with the easiest one to use, and that would be the custodian exchanges. So these are very popular exchanges that you might have already heard or they've used if you've traded altcoins. And this is the easiest way to start staking ETH with as little effort as possible on your side. There's some pros and there's some cons to that. So custodian exchanges would be exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, Bitcoin Swiss. And these exchanges are going to be offering or already are offering some ETH staking solutions to their customers. So the fees are pretty high because of the ease of use. People just have to either keep the coins on the exchange or actually lock up on the exchange with the click of a button. So there's no technical knowledge, no hardware required in order to stake ETH. The liquidity. So this is also different between the different exchanges. Some will allow you to have a certain token, like a BETH token or a token that represents the staked ETH, and maybe you're going to be able to trade that. For example, on Binance, that might be a possibility. The minimum amount of staking here, it's any, you can start with any amount. It's custodial, that means not your keys, not your coins. You have to be aware if this exchange just evaporates, then you don't have any coins anymore and you just got boxed. The risk, it's definitely a much higher risk since you don't own the coins. You have to hope that this exchange is about in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, depending on how long you're locking up these coins for. And the complexity, of course, it's super easy. Just deposit and forget. The customer segment for the custodian exchanges will be retail investors with little to no cryptocurrency experience, no DeFi experience, and definitely no technology experience that would allow them to stake their own ETH running their own validator. It would also be boomers and newbies to the whole space. And afterwards, you've got lending platforms like Liquid Stake. So here the fees are also high or not very transparent on high, so they don't always state how high the fees are. The liquidity, stake ETH with collateral loans. The minimum amount that you can stake is any. It's custodial, that means you don't own the keys here, so you have no control over the funds. The risk, it's counterparty risk. If something happens, smart contract error or platform error, then there's a high possibility that you lose your funds. Next up, we've got staking pools. So I've talked quite intensively over the last few weeks about different staking pools offering ETH staking services. So Rocket Pool offers liquid staking that allows people to receive tokenized staking tokens. That means a representation of the ETH that's locked up on Ethereum 2.0 as an ERC20 token. There's many other ones that are pretty popular. Staker, you can already start staking ETH with Staker. Lido is also a bigger player. Then you've also got Stakewise, which will also offer tokenized ETH 2 tokens for you to use. And these tokens will hopefully also be used in DeFi platforms. And some of these staking pools you can already start staking as of today, and others you have to wait. The fees, around 10% fees, liquidity, staking derivatives. So very often it's in the form of an ERC20 token that is backed one by one. However, the way that it's backed, it's possible that it's just a synthetic. That means it's tracking the Ethereum price, adding a certain percentage as the reward on top of it. So it's going to vary quite a lot between the different platforms on how they're going to provide liquidity. Some of them provide liquidity, but they don't provide the actual rewards in terms of liquidity. For that, you'll have to wait 1.5 years or so. Minimum, that also varies between the platforms. Some it's as low as 0.01 ETH, some it's 0.05 ETH or a little bit more. Custody, it's custodial. Basically, you're actually locking your coins into a smart contract. So you've got the risks of a smart contract failure. So these are the risks here. A bit higher risk: slashing, counterparty, smart contract failure. These are things you have to be aware of and be happy with that when you want to lock up your ETH into these staking pools. Complexity, it's Web3. You have to actually just know how to use different DeFi applications in order to be able to stake in the staking pools. For anyone that has already used a DeFi app, it's going to be super easy. You just need a Ethereum wallet, and it's just click send ETH, and then you get the ERC20 token representing that staked ETH back. Target customers, it would be for crypto investors, DeFi players. One addition I'd like to make is that with the staking pools, and especially the platforms offering a tokenized staking asset, is that they relate the most to the DeFi space, because I believe these tokenized staking assets will be integrated in many different other platforms where you can actually increase the usability of another platform and also your liquidity to earn even more rewards on top of the Ethereum 2.0 staking rewards. So I see a lot of possibilities within the staking pool segment of all of the Ethereum 2.0 staking service solutions. Then you've got the validators as a service solution. Here you've got block staking staked. So this is if you want to create your own validator with a user interface solution. You've also got a testant. Stakewise is also part of it. You're going to probably be paying about less than $10 a month. Here your ETH is locked for around maybe 1 year or so, 1.5 years onto phase 1.5 of the Ethereum 2.0 upgrade. Minimum is 32 ETH. It's semi-custodial. You've got a slashing risk. So if you run two validators with a single key, then there's possibility that both of these validators do double attestations, meaning that your ETH gets slashed. You lose a bit of ETH and you can get kicked from the network. It's pretty easy to use. It's plug and play. You don't have to know any complicated Linux command lines and so on to run this. So the target customer would be high net worth investors, people wanting to actually run their own validator but want to deal with all of the do-it-yourself aspects of running a validator, like setting up the Linux environment, all the security settings and so on. They want it done for them, but they want to earn the highest possible fees with the lowest amount of costs. Validator as a service API solution. This is for institutions. So here you've got Codify, Bison Trails, staked. So the fees, this would definitely be custom fees depending on the amount that is staked with these platforms. The ETH is locked onto phase 1.5. Here the minimum is 32 ETH. It's semi-custodial. You have slashing risks and complexity. Technical knowledge is definitely required since it's an API solution. It's not just plug and play. And this is for institutions. Then you've got the pre-configured validators nodes. This gets into the little bit more complicated territory for people that are enthusiasts, understand technology pretty well, and are not scared of the command line. You've got the pre-configured validator nodes, for example, Aave or launch nodes. Here you're going to have a high initial and low ongoing costs, locked onto phase 1.5, 32 ETH, decentralized. It's got a slashing infrastructure failure protection against slashing, which is pretty good. It needs regular maintenance. and it's definitely for enthusiasts. Then the last tier is the self-run validators. Here, this is for enthusiasts, OGs, contributors, dApp developers, anyone basically willing to install the validator client on their system to build actually a system that is able to run a validator with all the hardware requirements. This is the way that to go if you want to earn the highest possible rewards while staking ETH. But you're going to also have to bring 32 ETH to the table and the technical know-how. It's going to cost roughly $20 per month if you take into consideration that you have to buy a system or you run it on a cloud-based environment. The ETH is locked onto phase 1.5. You have to bring the 32 ETH. Pretty decent chunk of money onto the table. It's decentralized. Here you got complete control, but with complete control comes also complete risk. You have to make sure that you back up your private keys. If you lose those, you don't have access to your funds and you cannot withdraw your deposited ETH. This requires expertise and hardware requirements. You cannot make any mistakes. Make sure to check out my Prism Validator installation guide, where I run you through on how to install Prism Validator on a testnet. And I also highly recommend, before you actually start running your own validator, make sure that you run it on a testnet. Make sure everything's working flawlessly before you go over to the mainnet, since it's a large chunk of money that you could be losing if you do something wrong. And like I said, this is for enthusiasts. You have to be able to find the time to set everything up correctly, to learn about how to stake. There's a lot of intricacies on setting up your server or your system to make sure that it's not got any big mistakes in it. So for example, syncing up the time between your system and the beacon chain can actually be quite challenging depending on what kind of operating system you're using. I had an issue with that. I managed to fix it, but that's just to show that sometimes you have to spend quite a lot of time troubleshooting. So you have to be willing to put in this time investment in order to stake on your own. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to like this video if you want more Ethereum 2.0 content. I'll definitely be making a more in-depth video about the staking pools, comparing these various providers and stating the pros and cons and which ones I will be going with. So make sure to subscribe if you're interested in that type of content. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.